everyone sits around and they go, how do I get out to L.A.? Because I'm out here in Virginia City, and we're the 123rd largest market in the country, and I would like to get out to the second largest market, or I'd like to get on television, or I like it. How do I get out there? How do I do it? What's the magic? What's the key? First off, here's what the answer is not going to be. I have a magic stone that you can rub. You know what you do?
Plates.
When you realize somebody's coming on your show, whether it's me or Dr. Drew, someone you've heard of, someone you haven't heard of, you and your producer go, what's he got going? That's it. Fund anything. All right, go to that website. How are we doing there? Oh, it's crossed $1 million. Write that down. And who was, when he did, what did he do? Celebrity Apprentice? The year he did it, who was the cast? Who do we got here?
But you're talking about how to operationalize it. How about how to motivate it? Like, hey, man, your job should be to impress the shit out of that guy so he remembers you and maybe thinks of you next time he needs something.
I gotta tell you, people think there's some sort of we talk about this a lot, this mythology of how did Jay Leno become Jay Leno? How did Jimmy Kimmel become Jimmy Kimmel?
Obviously,
not
luck.
Obviously. Whoa. What about my magic stone?
Yeah, and your stone.
And you got to factor that in.
Well, it wasn't your stone then. Somebody else had it.
Jay Leno and Jimmy, but I can certainly, and it's weird because I don't know, I can't speak for Jimmy. I don't know if oh, no, I do know this. If you're coming in and plugging a movie, he watches that movie the night before, the fucking entire movie. Leno watches it. Jimmy watches it. They watch it. They watch it at home. They watch it at 1 a.m. They watch it. And then they come down to your dressing room before the show, or in Jimmy's case, during the show, they talk about the movie from the standpoint of someone who has seen the movie, because even though they were done with work, they weren't off the clock. They did their homework, and thus they're where they are today. They don't sit there and go, what's the name of that hamper movie you did? Now, what was that about? A wrestler? No, they watch it.
Did you take steroids for that?
They watch it, and they come down, and they talk about it.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Now, out of all the people I talked to, I've done this with book tours. I've done it with I've done it with the Hammer, where we've sent them out the 88-minute video a week in advance. I could tell 2 out of the 41 people had actually taken the time to even watch the fucking movie.
Yeah.
And that's why they will remain where they are. But as long as they want to keep looking at it as luck, who you know, or the magic stone, that keeps them in a holding pattern.
We should revisit the junior producer, Lauren.
You have to maintain a consistency.
I think you have to develop a sense of how to cook first. I think you have to via only one way in my book, which is repetition.
Okay.
I mean, you've got to cook 70,000 chicken breasts, and then if you add that with luck and you win Chopped.
But that's sort of the outlier premise that that it's really just miles spent flying or hours spent doing whatever.
You got to log those hours. That's totally it.
Pay your dues.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think there's any way around that. I feel like people say to me all the time, so how do you peel a clove of garlic without peeling a clove of garlic? I mean, I feel like that's the American way. Is how can I get there smartly, cleverly, and twice as fast? And I think cooking just says, yeah, you can go ahead and try.
Yeah, but
go right ahead.
But why not take the process as part of the experience? And
I don't think. I think that's like going to the museum. I don't know.
Well, I know, but it's also a time crunch too. It's like some people, they work and they want to get it done. Yeah, so it's like very few people that can be like, "What are you doing today?" I'm going to spend the day cooking dinner for my family. I mean, it might have happened at another time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I think people need things to happen quickly. And my problem is I eat very quickly.
So
there's quite a few of them.
And so you then see, because I'm becoming sort of obsessed with this now that I have kids, and I want them to be successful, and I'm thinking less about education and more about just being focused and finishing. Like
that's a waste of my time.
That's my boy. Yeah, the beginning, the middle, and the end. The people I know that start a project, finish a project, move on to the next project.
Oh yeah, follow through is incredibly important. You got to have follow through. You also have to, you got to shape your end according to your means. You got to know what you're going after and have the ability to get there. And you know.
All right, so you're running around doing the Black Club. So when do you start to evolve into recording or the Comedy Store? Or
well, what happened?
Because you're still before the Comedy Store, right? You're doing this
the
late
Store.
60s, 70s, 1970s, nothing.
The Troubadour.
Yeah,
the Troubadour. We did
opening for music all the time.
No, it was folk
Hootenanny night.
Hootenanny
night at the Troubadour, Monday nights.
Yeah,
and if the deal was that the first 6 acts that were there when the box office opened up at 6 o'clock got to go on that night.
Music or variety don't matter.
In reverse order. So the first one got to go on 6th, which was really actually a good spot because everybody was in. They're not. Still,
they're not.
they're drinking.
Because it's a free night, is it no charge kind of deal, right?
Well, no, they charged them, but the acts didn't get paid. This was like open mic night.
Right.
So we were always the first ones, always, every time.
You see, you drove the scooter over. You're sitting there with like 4 layers of clothing on. It's like Monday night at the Comedy Store. You see people wearing chef's outfits and garbage bags. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
And we'd get there at 9 o'clock and sit there in front of the Troubadour till 6.
Yeah,
eating sunflower seeds.
Eating sunflower seeds and working on bits and talking, blah, blah, blah. And we going out. And so we started to gain a following. We did it a bunch of times, and we started to gain a following. So people were calling and asking. So.
Here's the thing. One of the keys to success, what people don't realize, the key. The key is not fucking up. Screwing up is a part of life. Perpetuating the cycle of screwing up does not have to be a part of life. You see, when I was a carpenter, I would attempt to do things certain ways. And when more experienced carpenters came up to me and said, listen, that saw's got the blade on the left side, thus you got to cut with your right hand so you can see the blade on the line. If you cut it with your left hand, you won't be able to see the blade on the line. I didn't go, hey, man, I'm left-handed, okay? And by the way, who died and made you the king of the blade and the line? I went, thank you. I will learn to use a hypoid saw with my right hand, which I do, and have learned to with my weak hand, and thank you for that tip. I did not push them away. I went, thank you. Most of these conversations go something like this. I never, ever do fill in the blank. Then that always leads me to, well, evidently you've done it once. Because... Is that your phone going on for them? Evidently, you do it because we're talking about it. It sort of falls under the heading of the people who go, I don't need to write stuff down. I got it all memorized. It's like, well, yeah, but you didn't pick me up at the airport, so you need to write stuff. I don't need to write. If we're having conversations about you writing stuff down, there's a good chance you need to write stuff down.
Right.
Or otherwise, it'd be bizarre and random conversation to have with people who never had to write things down. So the first conversation you shouldn't, and this is what every loser I went to high school with did. First is, I never do whatever it is that just transpired. Something that you do and have done and it's been done, you've had this discussion before.
Okay.
And you get the first one is, I never do it, which is like, all right, well, obviously you do it because we've had this conversation. Yeah. Then you get the sometimes downgrade to, I almost never do it. Which is still like, all right, but you do it. Then, and this is my, this is the part I enjoy the most. What about the time you left the saltines open?
They'll go back at you like that? That's such a weird impulse.
Well, weird for you, the doctor.
Yeah.
Not weird for the D student from North Hollywood High.
Wow.